Good morning, everyone. It is 11:19 a.m. on the 10th of June 2022. I feel sad, and I don't totally know why. Or maybe I do, and it's the fact that I actually feel like I finally have nailed it. What is it? I finally figured it out. That I'm not sure how to feel not sad given the outcome. Let me try to explain what I'm saying. 2 nights ago, it finally hit me that I really do need help. That it may appear like a joke to other people, but I'm living in pain that is ruling my life. I have tutoring at 11 today. It's now 11:20 and I'm obviously not doing it. I sent a couple of messages to her asking if we could change it to this afternoon, and then send her one, like a proper email, saying the same thing, so to speak. I just couldn't get up. I couldn't get up and put my happy live self on and work with someone when I feel like this. I know other people can just snap out of it and just put their work self on, but I actually can't. Not when I feel like this, anyway. For the last couple of years, it's been, I need to get a job, I need to work as a support worker, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do blah, blah, blah to make me a worthy person. And if that's the case, I'm never going to be one. I'm never going to feel like I'm not failing. I'm always going to feel like I'm in the way and not needed. I'm only 36 years old. My body feels like it's 100. I've got this job, and now my human side is just so fucking afraid that someone's gonna try to make it even harder on me. I'm openly admitting that, yes, I'm on a disability. I fucking need to be. I need support. I need help. But the stupid rules in this country or the world, or however you want to look at, people like me we're just in the way. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to live with this shit. I would very much like to be able to have a nice, normal life. You know, what is normal, right, guys? I don't want to get up. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. I made it to the dog park yesterday and I cried in front of that woman. And I'm pretty sure her daughter saw me too. And then boss's hairs on his back went up when these other 2 dogs arrived, and I was really concerned, but everyone else was like, just let them and they're fine. But I'd never seen Boss like it, and I was just so out of it that I was like, okay, let him play. And the next thing I see is these 2 fucking dogs that were even bigger than Boss just going at him, and I'm screaming at this point because I just couldn't handle one more thing happening. And as soon as I got him away, the rain started, and I was like, that's the universe telling me to go home. I should never have come out in the fucking first place. And I did, and I felt guilty because we'd been there by ourselves waiting for people to arrive, and when the lady and her daughter arrived, so did these big fucking dogs. And I was embarrassed, crying at the fucking dog park, trying to explain why I'm a mess when logically rationally, there's nothing to be amiss about, which just makes me feel so much worse. I feel like a fraud, guys. Flying to Queensland in 6 days. Put on a workshop. Probably flying to WA next month to do the same thing. And it's like, what would happen if someone saw me doing those things and they found this? They'd be like, she's a fake. Last night I was telling myself this is the behind the scenes life of Liv, because I'm not the only one that has bad days. I'm not the only one who puts on a face to go to work. I'm not even getting paid. And that's not the problem. The problem is my human side, my ego is now terrified that someone is going to find out my full name and then do whatever they can to make my life even harder. I have doctors and specialists coming out my ears that support me. But the rules keep changing. If I lost my disability payment, it'd almost be like the nail in the coffin for me. I want to live my best life. And it's really starting to feel like the only way I can even remotely try to do that is to stop everything else. And that just leaves me feeling like I did before I started trying to make my life better. With no purpose. With no reason. With nothing and nobody. Everything is going the way I thought it would, the way I've always thought it would. I just never accounted for the fact that the more I do and the older I get, the worse I feel. I am living with constant pain. Constant. And it's so severe. It's just... it's making me so sad, guys. I want someone to tell me when I'm going to stop feeling like I'm not worthy. Even Boss was scared last night. When I went to take him out of the car, he literally flinched like I was going to smack him. And I just... see why I got a tuna this morning. Yesterday, in the morning, I went through absolutely every single thing on the website for my company. I wrote an email to my boss just with the things that I'd found and some of the things that I thought would be useful. I asked how I go about becoming one of the mentors. And now I just feel so dumb. I can't even get through a conversation without interrupting someone. I thought I was okay. And I've never felt so fucking alone before. And that's saying something given where my life has been. I want to run away. Just disappear. It's like the better my life becomes, the more pain I'm in, the more I feel like I'm failing, the more I have to hear the voices in my head telling me to go back to the universe and leave this stupid fucking planet. The more I look at what's happening in the world, the more I don't want to be here. I used to think I was someone who could help. I don't anymore. I just want to stay in bed. I haven't even heard from the lady for the tutoring, so I've got no clue what's going on with that. I'm hoping that maybe she slept in, because I said to her yesterday, I said to her it's probably really worth having, like a first draft or at least something ready based on tutoring that we've already done before we have another session, because it's just going to be more of the same, and I don't feel right charging someone when I need to be actually helping do something, and I guess I needed this out. It's so fucking hard to be in the now when you're by yourself. I'm never in my head when I'm around people. I don't wonder what the people are thinking about me, and I don't overanalyze what they're thinking, and I don't do any of the things that people assume that psych students do when they're talking to people, because in all reality, I have enough shit to deal with all by myself. I have to keep telling myself all the reasons why I should keep sticking around. And I miss my family. Everybody I know has a partner or a kid or a job or a life. And I'm here, living in pain, living with exhaustion, living with so many fucking issues broken in my brain. I'm taking the medication. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm seeing a psychologist. I see a psychiatrist. I have a support team. I do everything right. I'm so scared it's never gonna feel like it's enough. I can't do this for another 30 or 40 years. I can't. Yesterday I wrote myself a note on the kitchen table, trying to remind myself why I am sticking around. And the note I wrote was, you stay here because you're here to share. No, you're here to share. The only thing in my life that feels genuine right now are these videos. And I'm so grateful to all of you who stood by your word and told me over and over and over again why I couldn't disclose, because I am very aware now. I actually really did go through the entire website I went and clicked on every single person's name that's listed, went to their LinkedIn profile. The partners of this company I've started working for are like real high, top-notch fucking professionals. They're psychologists and lawyers and doctors, and just, it's so much more full on and intense. And all my ego keeps saying to me is, oh, you made a video because people judge you, because you look and sound like you're fine, but you're not. And now all I can hear is, you know you're never supposed to let your full name go out. What if some cunt out there decides, I'm going to make your life even harder? And even with all my doctors and specialists, that would push me over the edge. I know that would end it. Nobody wants to live on a disability. Nobody wants to have a disability. Let's get real. Sometimes I wish you could see mine so I wouldn't feel so fucking shit all the time. I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I don't want my dog enough. I can't even do the right thing by boss. Boss who is covered in lumps. Every time I hug him, I feel one. I don't know how many are new. I don't even know how long I've got him for. A stupid realization sometimes can just fuck with you. Knowing I've never had a protector. Sure, wonderful that I'm aware. Just makes me feel way fucking worse. Realizing that I can't keep trying to apply for jobs to be someone else's support worker because I fucking need one myself. I need someone to help me. Sometimes I'm honestly surprised that I'm still here, given what I live with and how alone I am. And I'm not talking about relationships or dating because I have zero fucking interest. I fell in love when I fell in love. Until I fall out of love, I'm still in love. Okay? That's just a fact. Regardless of the outside 3D fucking situation, I have been in love since I've been in love, and it's a long fucking time. It's 8 years, and it's like, I can't date people. I've tried everything. I'm not interested in relationships. I have enough friends. Majority of them I speak to online. The only person I truly, really see in person is Andrew, and that's because he's across the street. Maybe Grant once in a while, but he's got so much going on, and when his wife lands back in the country next month, it'll be different again, and just me and boss, which is great, but I can't study with boss. Every time I walk through my hallway now, I just feel ashamed. And I keep trying, and I keep trying, and I keep trying, but I don't know how to make the information stick. Because I need somebody to talk to. There's nobody to talk to. If I was entitled to the things that I genuinely need, I would have a support worker or peer worker, peer support worker, whatever it was. When I was a mental health support person, I did whatever my clients needed to help them live their best life. And it just caused me so much pain and exhaustion. Every day I worked, I'd have to literally take 2 to recuperate. And it's just getting worse, guys. Every year I get older, it gets harder. The amount of times I get up and literally just feel like I'm going to fall, more often than not. Yesterday was a good day until it wasn't. And it's so fucking stupid. And that's why I think I felt even more stupid trying to explain it to the lady yesterday, because it's like, when I put it into words, what triggered me yesterday, it just shows how fucking stupid I truly am. And I know what we say to ourselves is what we're gonna hear, but I'm 36 and a half, guys. I've been hearing how stupid I am for as long as I can remember. I've been told by the person who I thought would unconditionally love me the most that I'm not worthy of compassion. That I made my whole life around my illnesses. And how everybody else can just take their medication and live a normal life. And even with all of this, with all of the childhood memories of being told I should never have been born, being told I was a mistake, I was what caused my mum's unhappiness, that I wasn't worth the air I breathed. Unfortunately, that's a part of me that I don't know how to get rid of. And I'm trying everything. Trying to see everything through love. Trying to view everything through love. And I'll be honest and say, if I'm viewing others, it's working okay. But not me. I feel like a fraud. I feel like everything I've been saying for so long about why I keep sticking around is just made up reasons in my head to stop me from ending it all. And then it's like, all the illnesses I've got aren't going to kill me. So I could be living like this forever, for as long as it takes. Unfortunately, on both sides of my family, everybody lives until they're really fucking old. My father's parents are both in their 90s. My mother's were too. Everybody lives old ages. I don't want to live long old age if this is what it's about, without any fucking help. Short of winning the fucking lottery and being able to pay for support, I don't know how to get past this point. If I had it the way to pay for someone, even just say 3 hours a week, twice a week, just to come and help me, it would make a difference. Ideally, I'd have a support worker every day. Making my bed hurts me, guys. I can't hang my clothes on the clothesline because I can't lift my arms that much. Hanging my clothes on the horse in my spare room hurts. Vacuuming hurts. Dusting hurts. Everything fucking hurts. Walking my dog from the car to the fucking park hurts when he's pulling like a crazy ass. And I know I have it so much better than so many others. right now, that thought doesn't make me feel better. Just makes me hate the world a little bit more. You know, all these traditions we live with, guys, none of them make any fucking sense. Everybody wants to have children in an overpopulated fucking world. I watched something on Sex and the City yesterday, which I totally agree with, which would get me fucking shot down, I'm sure. But some of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff I believe in is definitely not what is, according to society, right or okay or whatever. I don't believe in IVF, for example. Children all over the planet need homes, and yet we abuse science in a sense of let's keep overpopulating. Let's just take everybody's money. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars it costs to use IVF. Doesn't always work. Some people go through it 3 or 4 times. When really, I feel it's quite selfish, and I know I'm going to get backlash, and quite frankly, I don't care. There are children everywhere who need homes. Parents, adults, they get married. They've known each other for a year, they get married. Do you know how much fucking shit you actually know about someone in a year? Nothing. Nothing. And you know, I understand true, real, unconditional love. I've felt that about Mr. X since I met him, yeah? It's been 8 fucking years though. Nothing's changed in that regard. And I've been to hell and back with that person. And quite frankly, when I think about the 2 choices of me having to live his life or him living mine, vice versa, I'm very grateful that I'm me here alone with my dog, talking to my camera, being married to someone I didn't want to be married to, and then have 2 children that I'll never walk away from. So, big picture style me versus Mr. X, I think my life is better, just simply in that regard, because I'm not fake. He's been fake his whole life. The only time he wasn't fake is when we first met, but that's a different story, and probably not one I'm going to even talk about. I'm only going to mention him in snippets like that. Because quite frankly, again, I've listened to people and their fucking opinions about how I feel about him for 8 years. And not one of them makes a bit of fucking difference. Listen to the ego, the cunt, the voices in my head. I do not have multiple people living in my head like people do when they have multiple personality disorder. Like, multiple personality disorder is a very real thing. I do not have that, yeah? Dissociative disorder, on the other hand. Very real too. Not the same thing, and I very much do have that one. It is like there are multiple Olivias in my mind, my soul, my psyche. They're all broken. All of them. Every single one is broken. So when those voices all start on me, it is hard to keep rising above it. I was reading about Olivia Fraser from the Married at First Sight season this year. And I actually feel really bad for her now. Because I believe her when she says that she spends so much of her time thinking about suicide. Because I spend so much of my time thinking about suicide, and I don't have the public backlash and the hate that she's copping. And I feel for her because, you know, what she did on the show was not great. Those of us who've seen it, saw that, and yes, we understand how editing works. I've been on TV, I've been in a show that was edited. I understand. But the fucking hate she's getting. She can't work. She's had to leave her university, but like, I'm 4 units away, and every time I think about just walking away from uni without it, it physically hurts. And yet, without somebody to help me, I truly don't know how I'm gonna keep going. I'm not starting back at uni now until November. 5 months. 5 months to learn fucking statistics and software. 6 months though that we've been in this year. It's the 10th of June, the 6th month, 2022. How much schoolwork have I done? I've been making videos since my fucking birthday, which is the 30th of December. Today is 163 in the life I've lived. If nothing else, I really feel like these videos very much show just how much I have bipolar. Because it's very apparent even to me that I'm either really happy or really not. And I'm medicated. I still think the dissociation is what's causing me the most problems at the moment. I just don't feel connected to anything when I'm by myself. I just feel like I'm floating through air and nothing's matter. And all I care about is trying to stay in the least amount of pain as possible. I'm in pain right fucking now. Lots and lots and lots of it. Where it's hurting me the most, I'd already say it's about 6.5 to 7 out of 10. And I haven't even gotten out of fucking bed except to make coffee, which is obviously gone cold because sometimes I feel even guilty just drinking my drink while I make my videos. I'll be talking for another 32 minutes, so the coffee's still there. And I cannot stand cold coffee or even lukewarm coffee. Gross. If nothing else happens and everything else really truly does just fall apart, and at the rate I'm going with lessons in this lifetime, I'm not sure that I'd even be surprised, truthfully. I've always been able to look after myself. I guess maybe I'm at the point now though where I'm like, it's becoming harder. And there's nobody around to tell me I'm doing okay, and I could self-validate until the fucking cows come home. It doesn't mean anything. I've been dealing with self-validation with my psychologist for like 3 years, maybe more. I'm a good person. I'm on disability. I have about 15 different fucking illnesses. I am still trying to get a uni degree. I am still helping by sharing my story. I worked as a support worker. I do fucking training god damn all the fucking time. Well, if it actually makes me fucking feel better. And I remember mentioning on a video recently when, I don't know, but I'm gonna say in the last week maybe, that anger is my default. And it very much is. I was not kidding about that. But yesterday, when my beautiful best friend in the world was in the back seat and I went to take the seatbelt off him, because dogs should wear seatbelts. They're specially made for dogs. Just FYI, if you've got a dog and you don't know. But anyway, I was taking the seatbelt off him, and he did. He just shrunk back into the furthest way he could and put his head down exactly like a dog does who thinks they're about to be belted. And that hurt me so bad. Because I'm scaring my best friend, who's like as big as me. Stronger than me, let's face it. I actually look fucking retarded trying to get him from the car to the park, especially if there are people with dogs around, because I don't have fucking any control, which is why I have to use the fucking choke chain, which goes against every single thing I believe in, and also adds to my feelings of humiliation and embarrassment because, good people with dogs don't use fucking choke chains. How could you be so cruel and evil? Well, I can't get my fucking dog anywhere without losing him if I don't use it, so, more shit added to me. And yesterday my day started off really well. It's not been a bad week, truthfully. I've realised scripts are dumb. They don't work for me. Look at that, maybe. Okay, my lady for tutoring's got back to me. I'm just hold on. Good. So my tutoring client did sleep in, thank goodness. So I was good and right, and at least I trusted myself today and didn't force myself to get up to be all ready to go. Um, um, I've just said to her, I'm free all afternoon. Talking out to you guys has definitely helped me feel better. But she doesn't have a draft yet, and she's been looking over stuff, and it's like, I'm just not that kind of person that's going to go, hey, let's start in half an hour at 12:30, and I'm going to charge you, and really, there's not like all we'll be doing is working through sort of understanding everything together, which is what we did last time, yeah? And now she needs to take that and then put it together and then, yeah. Alright, sweet. So, this afternoon. Don't know when, but at least it means I'm okay for now. My tummy hurts so bad. So good. Trusted my intuition. Everything's fine. I will do that later this afternoon. Well, here's something to make a note for yourself, Liv, because we just don't understand what the fuck is happening, but this stupid lump in my abdomen that keeps popping out randomly, which I honestly thought was due to ovulation. This entire time, actually, I thought it was due to ovulation, but apparently is not, because I got my period, which is very, very bad right now, worse than I've had it all year, because I have an implant on my arm, so I don't really deal with them, and that's really bad, so probably affecting my mood too, but the lump is very much there. So now I'm just even more confused about what the fuck is happening to my body. Speaking of my actual body and everything in general, I'm at the point where I think I'm going to make an appointment to go and see my doctor. At least Randy lives like directly across the road from my doctor, like no shit. Like 50, my doctor, as we're all aware, is like 50 minutes away, because I found her through synchronicity, and she's fucking amazing, and she's who's helped me with everything. But yeah, I couldn't see her for a while due to the vaccines and stuff, but I'm now fully vaccinated, so I swear to God, I really fucking hope they at least ask me on the plane to prove that, because I have not been asked to prove that I am fully vaccinated since being vaccinated, and I only got vaccinated so that I would be able to do this damn job. Even my tutoring client, who's a campus student, she goes to the same campus I do actually, has said she has not once been asked for vaccination. I've not asked every time we go in to um, the business school where my boss has the office, for our work stuff. Haven't been asked to approve it at all once. So, always fun. But I guess, whatever. But yeah, I have a lump sticking out of my abdomen, not ovulating because I have my period. I need to go and see my doctor because it sort of recently hit me, whenever it was, that I am taking such strong medication that it's probably wise to get like a full check over done. People get them like once a year, once every 6 months. I just want everything checked. I don't feel right, and I have enough stuff to deal with without adding to it because, I might be getting affected by medication or something. And speaking of medication, it's like my bladder medication costs $66 for 30 pills. Yeah? That's a fucking bucket load, right? Make my brain work. $2.20 each pill, right? So, all's well that ends well, yeah? Except that I went to the chemist to pick them up, and they were like, they had them all, so I'd called up. Now, I get the majority of my medication that's on the PBS here in Australia, like at the discounted rate because I'm on a pension. So most of my medication, or I should say all of my medication that falls under that, is somewhere between like $6.80 to like $8.80 depending, yeah? But this bladder medication, perfect, 2 p.m. Yeah, that sounds great. Just I just, God. Thank fuck, guys. We've changed it to 2. So that gives me plenty of time to continue talking until I need to stop, have my coffee, get dressed, taking my meds, my heat's on, talking to all of you. Really is the best therapy in the world, I've decided. It is the only thing that makes me want to keep sticking around. When you guys send me comments and messages and you tell me that being sincere and transparent and sharing the way I do actually means something and matters and helps you, it's probably one of the things that helps me more than anything in the whole world. I truly believe I was born to share. Unfortunately, that accompanies the thought of the universe is going to throw everything it can at me. Because my higher self is safe in the knowledge that I won't kill myself. Just doesn't detract from the fact that my human self isn't quite so sure and has a billion different fucking plans in place, and then tells them to me around the clock, like yesterday. Or all the reasons why I shouldn't be here, like yesterday. And it's so fucking dumb. I spoke to Randy about it, but the more I spoke to him about it, it was not yesterday, the night before, the day it happened, I just kept getting angrier and angrier and fucking angrier until I was like, I'm not being a good friend right now. I need to end this conversation because I am going to break something if I keep talking. I haven't broken anything except the cupboard door that just is now literally balanced. Like I've sort of jammed it into the hole, but every time I open the other one to bring something out, it slides back out. So it's kind of like this fucking, I don't know, just fine dance or whatever. But yeah, haven't broken anything else. So I feel like that's but since I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I won't in a year when I look back, I better actually explain what's caused all of this, if for nothing else, except my own fucking memory, right? Because the amount of times I've read something I've written or watched something like this and I haven't actually said what it was is too many times, and it just drives me crazy, right? So, again, I am going to preface this by saying it was already difficult and hard and embarrassing to explain yesterday to the lady at the dog park because I fucking know how it sounds. I do know that. I'm going to start this by saying that. Unfortunately, it doesn't change anything to how I feel. So, today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, right? Okay, so Wednesday, I remember having a busy day. I don't fully remember what I'd done, I'll be honest, but it was all good, whatever it was. So my Wednesday was good. Let's just keep it like that. I think I managed to clean my house and do some washing. Sometime this week I've done all of that. Wednesday morning I spent working on my tutoring client, like proofreading through her stuff. So I got all that done. Got my quote and everything written to be sent off. It's not great, but it is enough. Got all the stuff for that done. I was in a lot of pain. I remember that. I remember just thinking how much pain I was in, but I was taking all my meds and I was unwilling to take any of the CBD oil. No, that's not right. Any of the THC oil or any of my vape because the last time we had a work meeting with the people we're going to, because it was a work meeting with the people in Queensland that we're seeing, that was on Wednesday, right? And the last time we had a meeting with them, any of you who follow my website, not just my videos, which again, I'm going to reiterate that you really should be following my website because all of these videos are listed there, but they're also listed in between everything else. So the last time we had a meeting with these people, whenever it was, a week or two ago, I had been taking my THC oil because, as I've explained in many videos previously, 9 out of the 10 times I take the THC oil, it doesn't usually affect me in a stoned way, just in a helps my body not feel like it's broken in a billion pieces of glass way. But the last meeting, so not Wednesday, just been but the previous one, I had taken it and then I wrote a post about, I literally titled it something like, just 25 minutes until my work meeting and the oils just kicked in. So I was effectively mildly stoned for the first one. And I'd even written myself notes saying, do not talk, which, again, I have already stated, either in videos or posts, that did not work. But when I saw my workmates the other day, I told them about that story. I'm not totally sure why. Well, because I think those two are just so stressed out about this workshop, yeah? Whereas I, on the other hand, am not stressed out about the workshop because there is one thing I know that I'm good at, and that is being in a crowd full of people on a stage, directing people and helping people feel involved, feeling wanted, feeling needed, and all the things that I don't feel. I'm actually quite good at helping others feel. Probably because I never want anyone to feel like I do. But yeah, they're so stressed out, and like, if it was my normal friends, I'd just be like, guys, take some Valium. I've got boxes of it. And I know that's technically wrong and illegal, but but that is what I would do. That's the truth of it. And I think so because I'm that kind of person, and because of how much they keep going on about how fucking much they're going to be stressed out, which to me isn't helping at all. Because again, what we think, what we say is what we get, and obviously I know that, which is why I'm talking to you lot for like 50 fucking minutes to try and get it out of me, so that I can go about the rest of my day. I told them, because like I've said many times, I'm not nervous about this. I haven't practiced my story over and over again, probably because, as I've said before, what will come out is what will come out, and I can practice something until the cows come home. I'm almost positive it won't be the same. Though in saying that, I have been thinking a lot about all the public speakings I used to do in high school and intermediate school and stuff like that, and I was very good public speaker when I was younger because I did have, well, I memorized all my speeches and I knew them inside out and back to front, but I also had people to help me. So yeah, but anyway, we were having lunch. We'd finished for the day. We were having, well, we might not have been, we might have just been having a stretch or break, I think it was, because it was really fucking weird on Monday that the heating in the building was, we had the maintenance man come up and he kind of explained it, but basically it was going from a boiling hot to freezing cold, like bad enough in such extremes that it was enough to make anyone sick, and it was quite difficult to work in, right? So we thought we'd go out for a stretch, and that's when we were talking, and they were talking about how nervous they are, and I was like, and I sort of, as a, wasn't even a joke, let's face it wasn't a joke, it was me trying to say it, genuinely say it, but if it had gone wrong, I would have been able to say it was a joke, which technically kind of sounds like a lie if I put it like that. Interesting. Basically, I said to them, I will have all of my medication on me. There's no fucking way I'm flying to Queensland without it. That's a given. Yeah? And if they're going out of their minds, insanely fucking nervous and anxious and stressed and whatever about this workshop, which is on social and performance anxiety, I sort of said to them, like, it doesn't matter if you want to have one or have one, guys. Like, I've got plenty to spare, and if you think it'll help, like, and no one sort of said anything. Because again, there are people like me who are happy to share and shit, and then there are people who are very straight and narrow. Most of the time I can tell who's who, but when it's in a working environment, it's a lot more risky. So I get that. And that's, I think, when I told them the story, because I was like, I don't use my CBD oil or my vape or anything when I'm out and I'm doing stuff like I am today, because, I'm driving and whatnot. And I was talking to them about how it's interesting for me when I'm talking to someone, especially in a professional setting, and especially if they know I used to smoke ice and then quit it, but then if I mention I'm prescribed cannabis, one of two things always happens. It's like when you're saying you're a vegan. One of two things always happens. So with the prescribed cannabis, either people are like, yeah, that's awesome. Wow, didn't know that was a thing. Can you hook me up? Tell me how to get it. Yeah, easy. Of course I can. Tell everyone my doctor's name. She's fantastic. And the other reaction I get is the person's demeanor completely changes, and it's so distinct when it happens that I'm very aware of what's happening as it happens, and that's the next person You can almost see it in their head clocking over, like, oh, well, she had an addiction to ice and she got off that and she says she's not an addict, but now she's prescribed weed. So she's still an addict. She's just changed one to the other and gotten a professional so she can make herself feel better. And I can see how someone would think that. It's not the case. I didn't know cannabis was legal until my doctors told me, and they told me because they asked me if I get any help out of it, which I obviously do. Hence, I've been smoking weed for a long time. Even though, again, of course, I use it as medication majority of the time, and that's just more shit for my mum to beat me up about. But yeah, I said to them, I was like, what did I say? I said 25 minutes before the last fucking meeting we had, I said it kicked in. I said, oh my God, I wrote myself notes to not talk, and then I did, and my boss, and again, I'm going to keep calling him my boss because it's just easier, but he's more a teammate, as he said. And now that I've seen like all the really fancy, high professional freaking partners involved, I guess I really am seeing him more as a colleague than anything else now, which I guess is a good thing. But yeah, I told him and her that that's what happened, and they both thought it was funny. And he was like, "You definitely couldn't tell," and I was like, "Yeah, you can't tell. Of course you can't tell." But it still happened. So, yesterday, no, today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, we had the meeting again. Another one. This time I learnt my lesson. I did not have any of those medications, meaning my pain was really high by the time we had the meeting. And then I went to join the meeting, so I'd spent so long fucking looking for the email because the email threads are driving me insane. The one thing that he does do that is just, I've mentioned it in an email and he was like, I don't understand this, we'll just talk about it when we see each other on Wednesday. But it's like, if we've got a group email, so for the three of us, which is solely for us, and then I respond knowing it's only those two to reading it, that's fine, yeah. Then when I was there on Monday, I sent him the message. I'm starting to think I should have just sent a brand new message. I've learnt my fucking lesson. I replied directly to him instead of to the both of them, because she didn't need to know that I just suck at technology so much that I still couldn't figure out how to fucking send the video to him. Because I've been able to do it when I was at home. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe it's different when I'm at home because my cloud storage is here and I was able to send it as a link, whereas when I was out, I saved it to the same cloud storage place and then went to share it from there, and it just would not work. It just kept saying, no, too big, too big, too big. And I had my USB with me. I think I've mentioned this, to give him the copy of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it was fucking great that I did. So from here on out, I will be keeping USBs with me all the time, because I had to save them onto that, and then he was obviously in the office next to me while I was making them. So that was all well and good. Anyway, Wednesday came and went, and Wednesday this week we had the last meeting. Everything's been sorted. We're all looking great. Blah blah blah. And I'm trying so hard, guys. Like, my biggest flaw that I do, and I would say I have a lot of them, but this is probably the biggest one I've got that I'm aware of anyway. If you know me and you can think of others, please let me know. But I interrupt people. I do not mean to. I have spent years really, really working hard not to. I'm literally trained as a crisis telephone counsellor on the suicide hotline. So I'm actually aware of how to active listen, empathically, actively listen. I do know how to do that. Sometimes, especially fucking these Zoom meetings. Oh, and this particular meeting, I hadn't taken my meds. I was becoming irritated. I was in so much pain, sifting through all these fucking emails, trying to find a link. Finally think I've got it. get to it, go to like upload it, and there's like 10 minutes. So I went to the bathroom, made a copy, came down, back. This is at my desk. Went to click to like join it, and then it was like, please enter meeting numbers or IDs or passwords. And I'm like, what the fuck is all of this shit? And it's now hitting 3 p.m. and I don't have links, I don't have access, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And I'm just becoming more and more irritated within myself at this point. So I took Valium and emailed the boss and sent it through to the WhatsApp chat going, I have no idea how to join this. It's like, can someone please send me something? So we sent it through, and it was a brand new fucking like software, one that I've never used before, one that took longer than I would have liked to. Like, he sent it to me, and then I had to go through this entire fucking process of getting it running and installed and working and all this bullshit. And mind you, it's already past 3 o'clock. It's only a 3 o'clock fucking half an hour meeting. I finally get on there. Finally. And I'm listening and talking, and we wait for our other teammate, but she obviously doesn't make it. And I couldn't figure out where the hand thing was. Like I've only just fucking figured out how to do it on Zoom and Google Meets, and now this was like Microsoft something or other, and it's a whole fucking new thing, and I'm just like, for fuck's sake. And I didn't mean to. I tried really hard, and I wanted to say something, and I sort of put my hand up like in the video, and I sort of asked something, realised I was interrupted, apologised, then sort of used my mouse to try and figure out where the fucking hand thing was. It's like in the middle of the screen. It was so weird. So I managed to use that. And I had sent an email through to my boss that morning. So I think I probably mentioned it. Yeah, I remember mentioning it, that I'd written a video, that's not right. I'd written an email, but I had decided to wait until the following day to ensure that it didn't have any emotion attached to it. So I'd written it on Tuesday, I made a video about it, then I got all paranoid because I was asked if my boss is rude, and he's not. It's just, like I've said, lots of shit going on, and I didn't want the impression to be coming across like I don't like my job when I actually fucking love it. But I didn't send the email when I wrote it. I sent it the following morning after I did go through it and fixed it all up and took all the emotional out of it and just left it. It was good email by the end of it. I was proud of it. And I said what needed to be said, and I didn't hear from him for the rest of the day, which, you know, I fucking knew would be the case. But he rang me straight after the meeting on Wednesday. Like within minutes of it ending, he was ringing me. All's well and good. You can probably tell by now that I find telling a story that I find really when I'm really embarrassed about something, it's a lot harder to tell that story. This story is embarrassing, even though it's such a simple nothing. I'm still embarrassed. I've even, like I said, talked it out with Randy, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll tell you what he said when I finish, but okay, so we're talking, and the point that I'd made that I just do not want in the workshop, I think it is wrong. No, I don't think it's wrong. I think the point that he's added as a throwaway comment needs an entire workshop around it all by itself. Yeah. So he didn't respond to my email. He rang me up. He talked me through it. He apologized for what had happened, because basically the main part of it was like, in a professional setting, you cannot just completely ignore people. I wrote a page and a half of notes for that first webinar, the free one, and wasn't responded to at all. Went through absolute hell and back thinking I had completely humiliated myself on my very first task. fairly certain, I have spoken about this on my videos before, just to discover that not only did they like what I'd written, they fucking loved it so much they use it as the fucking script. So watching somebody else read my fucking words to the very first thing that was ever done for this company was fucking, it made me mad. Let's put it like that. I was angry and sad and proud and just fucking confused all round. And then when this stupid point was added to our workshop, I was like, fuck no. And I haven't been being confident, and I've become aware of that. Like, we're teaching confidence, and I'm just so fucking afraid of everything these days, which goes against every single thing I believe in, that I just sort of keep just being this version of me. I don't know who I am, this quiet, keep to myself, fucking overguess, second guess, fucking just, oh. Like I said at the beginning of this fucking video, which was an hour and 5 minutes ago, the better and healthier, like, the better my life becomes on the outside. It's like the harder everything becomes on the inside because of the pain and the exhaustion, the second guessing, and the fucking blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I haven't even said the point that embarrassed me yet, but it's such a simple fucking nothing. And I know that I would say to my friend exactly what Randy said to me, and it's just unfortunately not making any damn difference because, and I'm fairly certain it's because of the simple fact that I've been working on the fact that I know not to interrupt, and I've been trying not to for, I don't know, at least 6 fucking years. I'd already interrupted once in the meeting before I found the hand thing. And then he rang me to discuss the email. And he explained his point of view for the point in the workshop, and that it was completely different to what I had said in the email that had happened to me, and that he apologized like profusely for what happened. And he was like, I completely understand where you're coming from. I can now put myself in your shoes and see what I did was wrong. And he was very sorry for that. And then I don't even know what I was saying, and I went to say something, and as soon as I did, I realized he wasn't finished, and I just shut up. I just went silent. I was so embarrassed. Like, I've already had to apologize for interrupting at this point, you know. And then he says, and it's this sentence that fucked with me. One little sentence, guys, it's all it can take to fucking make someone feel like the biggest failure in the world. And he says to me, may I please speak now? That was it. May I please speak now? 5 words. And it was like I died inside and I just wanted the ground to eat me. Because in that moment, it was like all the work I've done, everything I've learned, everything I've tried, everything I've put into place, and I still can't do something as simple as not interrupt. I believe I'm here to be a speaker, and there's a huge part of me that just wants to commute and never say another word to anyone ever again. So yeah, so embarrassed. I was so fucking embarrassed that as soon as the phone call ended, I smoked a couple of bongs, and me and Randy had already spoken that day, and so we continued to chat, and I told him, and I'd written an email back about it, because even after the phone call, I was like, yep, I get what you're saying, and he'd sent me some links, that the boss sent me links to back up his point. Now, the link was written by a editor at a entertainment and media publication. No background speciality, no absolutely anything to back up this point, it was solely an opinion piece. And look, I understood, and I think the opinion piece was making some very valid points, but unless those points in that article are actually taught to people about, texting and emailing and social media and the way to go about it the right way, I still can't have my name on something that's going to fucking go completely against what I think. So I wrote another email at this point after reading the article, after it all. And again, it was too fucking emotional, so I sent it to Randy, and Randy's like, don't send that, whatever you do. And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Baby, boss, what have you been eating? Anyway, God, I don't know who even watches these things, eh? I just, like I said, I just need to talk until I need to talk. But yeah, that humiliated me, and then I was on the phone with Randy, and I was just getting more and more angry. Not at him, obviously, just at the world in general, because I'm angry at the world in general. Let's face it, until I figure out how to actually do something to help myself in regards to that, I'm not sure what's going to happen, because I truly believe I'm here to make a difference, and yet I'm second guessing myself and causing myself so much anguish and so much pain and so much exhaustion and so much stress, so much everything that I do just want to run away. Shut this down, quit my job, leave uni altogether, and just never fucking do anything ever again, which is obviously very much not the answer, and I know this. I just really would like it to stop being where my thoughts go. Though running away is a lot better thought than killing myself, so I guess there's that. But yeah, I just felt so fucking humiliated. But it was then that I realised that I actually definitely know why I'm saying what I do. Randy helped me to Randy was like, I need you to explain it to me, so I did, and he's like, okay, so you need to explain it to him the way you just explained it to me, which needs to be done in person. So I've listened to Randy, he probably has a point, but yesterday I was in a good mood, I was happy, I woke up well, I made a video, boss making it hard to make my bed, everything was good. I had spent, like I said, I wanted to, oh, that's right. So the same night I got real super embarrassed, and I went to send that email, right? And Randy was like, don't do it, which, now that I'm fully remembering that evening, makes sense. It was really good, because it was quite a number of hours later that my boss sent me through an email, and I double checked it as much as I could. I mean, if you blind CC someone in, it's a little harder, but it looked like it was directed solely to me, and it was an email that was directed to everybody in the company with a video attached from him making a video in our worktops for the he's obviously our channel, our company's got their own YouTube channel, yeah. It's got currently 24 subscribers and I think 12 videos from the last number of months in total. But anyway, he sent me this email, and it was sent directly to me, and the beginning of it was something like, hey Liv, we've been now working closely together for quite some time, so I really value your input and your thoughts, he goes, and then he explains something that's happened, which, well, I mean, there's no reason I can't explain it to you guys, I guess. But I mean, basically what's happened is the app where people are able to download it and come and chat to us, and it's a free app. It's a free app in the sense that you can have one regular mate you can talk to. I think then if you want to have multiple ones, and there's a whole different range, yeah. But the beginning of it is free. Well, it's not the beginning. It's most apps have a free version and a paid version. This is no different. But anyway, the way it's been done, the way the mates have written, blah blah blah, something we've had brought to our attention is that having the mates diagnoses listed, as in these are the things that we can discuss, is actually deterring people from coming because it's too intimidating and people don't want to open up, and simply because we're peer support, not trained in like full-on clinical stuff. Yeah. So he's made this video. He's not like me. I can make videos like this super easy. I've been talking for an hour and 15. Whether people watch it is irrelevant to me at this point. I just need to get it the fuck out, and I will watch it eventually. But yeah, he's had all this stuff brought to his attention, blah, 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 blah. So he wrote this like massive email for the company and then attached the video. But before he sent it to the company, and as of Friday at 12:35 in the afternoon, it hasn't been sent out yet. So he sent it to me on the Wednesday. Now, keeping in mind you guys, I was already embarrassed. I was already ticked off. I was already very comfortably stoned at this point because I'd smoked quite a number of bongs and taken Valium just to calm me the fuck down, yeah? Anyway, he sent it to me and he's like, can you watch this? Can you provide feedback before I send it to the company? And I watched it. And I remember watching it and going, oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, I fully see what he's saying. I fully see why it needs to be said. I've missed it too. I mean, now that it's been pointed out, it makes 100% sense. But I think maybe because of the state that I was in, though, I was just like, what the fuck ever. So I watched it, and then I sort of replied basically going, first thing, drink water. You're allowed to drink water when you're on a, like he kept, I do it all the fucking time, but these are just my personal videos. This is meant to be professional. He didn't look professional. It looked nervous. It looked anxious. It looked like he was trying to talk and he needed to drink water. And there was just quite a few things going on. And it looked like a filter was being used. Like I don't use filters. I don't fully get filters. I mean, yeah, sometimes they make it look pretty. I played with the Snapchat ones with my niece and nephew before, but I'm not a filter user. Like I am so pretty, exactly like I am. See, guys? But the whole time I was watching it, it just didn't look right. So I sent him a reply to the emails, and then he had these like do's and don'ts for people who might want to use the service, and I read through them, and I went from a like person's point of view who might need the service, say not a working person, but a consumer or whatever. I was like, do's and don'ts. I'm like, straight away, people aren't going to even look at this company just if you list them. I'm like, just reading through them, I'm telling you now, I wouldn't approach you guys based on those. And I was like, you cannot be making videos with filters if that's what it is, because that's the only thing I can think of. I was like, you absolutely need to drink water, not just force yourself along when you clearly got a frog in your throat. And I had all these other ideas, and then I was like, oh, I could just keep emailing, but it's quite clear that he wants to teach the point of view of it's okay to take as long as it takes for you to reply to people no matter what, because that's what he does. Doesn't actually make it okay, but whatever. So I replied and I said, look, these are the things all just based off the video and the things that I've read through. I said, yeah, you've got a lot of things to be changing before you send it to the company as far as I'm concerned. So then yesterday, can you hear that? My baby's snoring. Yesterday, what happened yesterday? Yesterday I got up and I went through the entire website to try and figure out how it's looking to the public. And that's when I realised it doesn't look right at all. And multiple links weren't matching up right. So they've got like 11 mates listed, which is ironic because I don't actually think any of them are mates. They're all like the people in the like office stuff, yeah? Anyway, the links were going to different names, different stuff. So I wrote an email yesterday. I wrote all of it down and put it all there. And I said, look, I personally think there are a number of changes that need to be made. I said, the way that we list what we can talk about, I went to change it that night that he sent the email through. I said, it's a drop-down box we select from. I said, that literally needs to go because as it stands, I've ticked, borderline, bipolar, mental, like ADHD. There's a whole bunch of things that people just select, but it's freaking people out. So we need to have it removed. All this stuff needs to be changed. I personally think every single mate needs to make a video introducing themselves to be put on the channel and the website. And then after going through this, and I spent a number of hours going through and working through this all yesterday, and then I wrote an email obviously about it. I saw that the person who's coming to Queensland with us is one of the mentors, and I didn't know that. And I remember messaging in the email and saying, this is really amazing. I'd love to be able to work towards something like that. Like this is the sort of thing I want to work in, like go partnership in, but I cannot be involved in workshops that don't sit with me, obviously, and it's only fully just hit me, like certain stuff, and I'm like, what comes to mind is the life coaching thing that I looked at and I saw for a couple of weeks, and just how fucked up I thought it was and how badly I needed to be away from it, and that's what caused me to join uni in the first place. This isn't like that, because one of the things I was asked by my university yesterday, because I was asked to get contacts for them as well, was, is this something that you do that you're going to get other people to do, which sounds like multi-level marketing. Again, something I'm very much not okay with. And I was like, no, we're just telling stories in our own way. Like, we do workshops like this to help students. And I won't be involved with stuff that is something that goes against what I believe in. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened yesterday, guys. I was fine. I did all of that. I was feeling really good. I do know what happened. I've just realised I went to start reading my philosophy again, preparation for today. And mind you, I've already passed this unit. I got 80 on this unit. I'm a fucking high distinction on this unit. So I've read everything. I've done it all. I know what I'm doing. I went to lay down with boss yesterday. It was, shitty weather, whatever. I knew I had the puppy play day, whatever, 3:34. I went to refresh my mind on my philosophy, and I went to go to the next reading, and then I sort of saw all the stuff I'd highlighted, and then I realised I had no memory of what I had already read, and it broke me. That's what happened. It broke me, and then that just started this spiraling. How can you tutor if you can't remember what you've read? How can you do this? How are you even bothering to try? You still interrupt people. You're such an embarrassment, blah, blah, blah. So I've had the entire afternoon just went fucking belly up. I just started bawling my eyes out because, well, that's what I do. And yeah, I chopped a mix. I was like about to smoke a bong when I thought I better water the plant. So I got the water and I was in the room putting the fucking nutrients in it, and I just finished and I went to pick it up. I knocked it over and I spilt it everywhere. Just water. And my house isn't level, yeah, because everything's moving, so it just went everywhere. And that's what happened. And it was in between going to smoke the bong and knocking the water over and then having to clean the water that I got the message from her saying, hey, we're not there yet. We're actually not going to be there until, let's say, 4, if you can, if you think you can make it. And at this point, I had now cried and cried and cried for so long, and I was crying to Boss, and I just kept crying and hugging him, and then that made me feel so guilty. So I was like, okay, I have to take him, and I did take him, and I thought they'd be there at 4, so I just left because I was like, if I don't leave right now, I'm not going to. And as soon as I touched his leg, he went like crazy because it's been a couple of weeks, as we know. So we went there, and we went to the new one because the new park, or the other park that I don't go to all the time, has had fresh grass laying down. And so she messaged me just as I was pulling up. She's like, oh, hey, blah, 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 we'll probably be leaving in 10. And I was like, I've just gotten here. She's like, shit, okay, sorry, I'll be there soon. So Boss had a play, but it was just us two. And then she drove past and beeped, and there was another car driving past at the same time. So that's when she pulled up, and I think I said at the beginning of this fucking hour and 45, a 25-minute video, that these two dogs and that happened. But, you know, I got there, that's what happened. This is where I'm at. And truthfully, since I've spent this long talking it all out, I do feel better. Calmer, at least. Even our lecturers at uni say, unless you actually wrote a fucking, well, they don't say, unless you actually wrote an essay or a paper on something, it's more than likely you're not going to remember, because you need to be going over stuff over and over and over again to remember it. And I know that's what I need to be doing with my wall, and I'm trying, but again, it's so much harder when I'm by myself. But it's now 12:45 in the evening, and I really need to get up and get dressed and at least watch some YouTube channels or go back and have a look at some of the stuff, because I am doing my tutoring it too. And yeah, I guess this is as good a time as any to end it. And hey, if any of you make it to the end of this, pop down your favourite TV show in the comments. That way I'll know if you made it to the end. Till later. Bye guys.